Welcome back to the Sandler Files, episode 25.
It's 26.
Oh, you can't do this to me. Okay, it's 25.
It's 25.
It's 25.
I'm 100% sure.
It is episode 25, and we watched the movie
Becky.
Oh, you married? Okay, sure.
Was Uncle Vanny Vanilla Ice this whole time?
Like that, little man? You want a piece of me?
This is me. This is how I win.
Becky. Which is a film
Yeah.
from the cinemas, came out into theaters.
Actually,
and-
it did not come out into theaters.
Was it streaming only?
Well, because it dropped in the middle of the pandemic. It was
It was right at the beginning though, wasn't it? It was like a
No.
2020 film.
Yeah, but like mid 2020.
Okay.
It was
okay. That's
drive-ins.
still pretty early, dude. You know, like March is when it started.
Mid 2020, dude.
Mid 2020
March is the
like
first
June.
3 months.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like June, we were like fully locked down. We didn't know what was going on.
It was still, it hadn't even been a.
I think
you
our
know.
internet is out.
Who needs it?
Either that or the wheel's dead.
I'm getting Reddit.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
We'll lose
we
the
might not
wheel.
be able to spin the wheel at the end of this.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at r/all.
Becky came out in 2020. It came out during the pandemic. It was in.
It
you
was
could go
not
see
released in theaters.
You could go see it in drive-ins. I nailed it. It was June 2020.
Oh wow.
That's mid 2020, baby. Yeah, it was. It's a movie starring Kevin James, which is why we watched it for this show.
It's not starring Kevin James. It's starring.
Is
Becky.
Kevin James one of the stars of the movie?
He's It's featuring
first,
Kevin James.
Who's first listed on the poster? Who gets first
Becky.
credit? Oh, she actually does. Good for you, Becky.
This is Becky's story.
Oh
and
wait,
Kevin's
not on
just
this
a part.
poster.
I saw the one that's Kevin James's big face.
Kevin James plays a neo-Nazi.
Yeah,
who-
like a really villainous.
like a very evil man.
Yeah, which is great for Kevin.
It's an interesting role for sure.
It's just fun to see a contrast with him because like I don't believe he's ever played a villain before.
No.
Like he always plays
schlubby, lovable.
schlubby lovable sidekick or schlubby or just like the boring leading man who's
Yeah.
kind of like moderately quirky, and that's supposed to carry throughout the film.
Yeah, this movie's basically Home Alone if the Wet Bandits were neo-Nazis and the violence was like Saw level.
Yeah, like some weird 70s drive-in
Grindhouse,
slasher.
yeah.
Grindhouse. Yeah, I'd compare it to that.
It's like, I
This
don't know.
is-
It tells, like, if you were a child and someone actually invaded your home with the express intent of, like, murdering you and your family, I think this movie is a more realistic depiction of how that would mess you up, especially if you deliberately created violent traps to hurt those people. It's really good. I really liked it.
It is really good. It's really, it might be the goriest film I think we'll ever watch.
For
on
this?
the Sandler Files.
For sure,
Yeah.
this. Maybe the goriest film I'll watch in my life.
You
Because
think so?
some of that, it's really violent.
It fits in that genre of like, I guess a slasher movie with kind of
I think
creative-
it's beyond slasher.
yeah.
It's
I think this is like, it's like 70s movies. Like they would all do that same
Yeah.
thing. It's in that same genre, and
you
there was
compared
that
it to-
time. It's that genre of movie where all the kills are like creative and like they're trying to think what's the wackiest way we could kill someone.
and like show the practical
Yeah, yeah.
effect of this happening.
And the practical effects in this were very good.
Yeah, they
Like, it
were
was,
really
like,
good.
It was really realistic.
You compared it to Toxic Avenger, which is a movie that we
Right.
started a long time ago, and I had to turn off because I was so grossed out. I feel like I have a pretty decent stomach for violence. Like I don't think I'm,
Me too. Like with this movie, maybe I'll get a little bit uncomfortable.
There
during
was
the
one
slash-
scene that really,
the Kevin James eye.
yeah. I don't know. Should we yeah, we're just audibly describing it.
Honestly, go watch this.
Yeah.
Don't listen to us talk about it.
Yeah, but
If this sounds interesting to you, because it is an interesting movie, go check this out.
and it's not super long either. Like it's
No,
a
yeah,
really nice chill watch. But like there's a scene with Kevin James and his eye where something happens to his eye.
Yes,
and I don't want to go into
Yeah,
detail.
oh, you don't?
No. But if you're squeamish about violence around the eye area,
right.
you might want to, cover your face for that part. You'll kind of know it's coming. And it
Yeah.
lasts a while.
It does.
It stretches out over like 2 or 3 scenes.
And there's actually, I have trivia here regarding that scene.
Okay.
where Kevin James has to do something to his eye, and they use a prosthetic. And
No
it took-
way. He didn't do it with his real eye?
they used a prosthetic, and it took way longer to cut than expected. So that shot that's in the movie, Kevin James is like prolonging his pain because it was taking so long.
Oh, I hated that. I hated that shot so much.
It was really disturbing, and they were playing like this high pitched like ringing sound too, which like I don't know. It really felt like you were.
I mean, don't you have tinnitus?
I guess so.
So
It
how do you
wasn't
know
really
that was in
tinnitus,
the
it was more
movie?
like the sound they play in malls to get teenagers out,
Yeah.
or like a dog whistle sort of sound. It's just like
Yeah.
that. I don't know what way to describe it. It's almost like sharp sounding.
Yeah.
It fit perfectly with what was going on. It was really
No, it was a
nice.
really well done scene.
Yeah.
I was just very uncomfortable.
yeah.
What did you think of Kevin James, like, as a performer in this movie? Like, his actual...
I thought he was fine.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
Kevin
like...
James didn't really like.
It didn't need to be him.
No.
Because if it were me, I would have thought you cast Kevin James to be, like, a charming sociopath type. Because that's kind of
Right.
what he's known for, is, like,
Right.
the family, lovable goofball, right? But he's kind of just a neo-Nazi.
He's just like, it's not even like an interesting neo-Nazi or anything.
No,
he's
he's
just
just-
like a very generic.
I do like that there's no
Bad
like
dude.
there's no like pathos where it's like, you know, he's got some good in him. It's like, no, he's a neo-Nazi.
Right.
He's a bad person.
He's got his little buddy who has.
there's one guy who is like has a bit of a redemption.
Yeah, I really like that guy. Honestly, I like the way that guy looks too.
I
Like,
liked,
I don't know if I've seen him in anything else.
I liked him, and I liked the resolution to his story arc where
Oh yeah,
spoiler alert, basically there's one of the neo-Nazis who like doesn't want to kill kids, and he like helps Becky and stuff, and he's like,
like
I'm
the whole
done.
movie, he's kind of struggling.
Yeah.
between following what Kevin James was saying and his own personal
Moral-
morals, where he's like,
yeah,
I don't want
foibles.
to mess with kids or anything because it happened to him.
Yeah, and
It's
he,
revealed.
like he had to kill a kid,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
didn't enjoy it like before the movie. Which, you know, who would? But
No. It's
in the final confrontation between Becky and Kevin James, he comes back to help, and then he's like after Kevin James is deceased, he's like, I hope, like, you know, this has redeemed me in the eye, and then Becky just picks up a gun and shoots him in the head.
yeah.
And I was kind of really satisfied by that.
Yeah,
by that ending.
I wasn't really expecting that, but
No,
like
it
that's
worked.
very good stuff.
Because the thing about this is like what you realize as it goes on is like it's Becky's descent into like this is a
Yeah.
Joker origin story.
Yeah.
Like-
I'd say that.
She starts out the movie in a not very good place, and then just terrible stuff happens to
Well,
her.
yeah, because what at the start of the film, it's her mother passed away like a year or so ago, and her father like has already moved on to
Yeah.
a new girlfriend, and they're all going up to this cottage,
And
and,
he wants
she's not
to-
having it.
he wants to marry her.
Yeah.
He
Oh
wants
yeah.
to-
Yeah. Right. He wants to marry this new girlfriend that
Like a year after her mom died.
Becky doesn't like.
Also, the dad is played by Joel McHale from Community.
Yeah.
Lots of good actors in this. I also thought the girl who played Becky, I'd never seen her in anything before, but she was really good.
Oh yeah, she was great.
Yeah, it was overall like just a solid movie. Just a really fun.
Yeah, really enjoyable watch. Really
Yeah.
fun, creative.
Yeah.
Something I've never really seen before.
And like I mean fun in the way of like, you know, gross out horror and
Yes,
like,
yeah.
you know, crazy stuff going on screen. Obviously, you know, the plot and themes it deals with are like kind of heavy,
Yes.
but if
yeah.
you're watching it with a friend, you know who you are rooting for and you know who you're not rooting for. So you can have fun with just being like, oh,
Of course.
yeah. So
I mean, it does deal with serious topics, but then, you know, when this movie devolves into
violence,
crazy, outrageous violence, like
Yeah.
somebody backing a boat motor over someone or whatever, it's like,
yeah,
everyone knows it's.
everyone knows what it is.
Everyone knows what it is.
It's
It's
us-
having its fun.
It's us taking that, you know, that Colosseum mindset where we would
Right,
watch
right.
humans, you know, look, something deep in our subconscious has a desire to see acts of violence in front of us. And I'd rather
Real acts of
no-
violence?
Well, I don't think so. I think we can fake it, which is the good
Right,
thing.
right.
I'd rather if people need to, if there's some type of catharsis that comes from that. I know for me, I like knowing it's fake.
Jeremy loves like.
no, hold on.
He will go glassy eyed when there's
No.
a character killing someone on screen.
I'm saying
He'll just
I
start
like.
vibrating.
I think it's good that we have the fake, so that you know, real people don't have to
Yeah,
suffer
yeah.
for entertainment anymore. But I think it's interesting how that has evolved. Yeah.
It is interesting. It is interesting. But let's ban all violent video games and movies and music.
I actually think violence shouldn't be allowed anymore.
Violence shouldn't be. We just can't talk about it, guys. Because if you talk about it, it happens.
We're gonna stop. No more violence.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
We're taking a stand here.
Everyone's
on the Sandler
wearing
Files.
oven mitts from now on.
Yes. No more dying. Nobody's gonna die anymore.
We're
gonna
we're
cut that
putting
off.
our foot down.
We're gonna have to step in.
Yeah. I just had the thought that I'm not recording, but I am.
Oh, good.
What else is going on? Like, we watched Becky. It was
Yeah.
good.
Okay, here. Let me hit you with some Beppy trivia.
Some
real
Becky
quick.
trivia?
Beppy trivia right here. Simon Pegg
No!
was slated to play the villain
That would have been way better.
until he dropped out in 2019 due to scheduling conflicts, and then they brought in Kevin James.
Scheduling conflicts with what? What is Simon Pegg doing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
He's like, he's in like one of every 8 episodes of The Boys.
I mean, maybe it was The Boys.
You know what? Like, obviously, whatever, Simon, do what you want to do, but I would have loved to see him in this role.
Yeah.
You know who also would have been good? Did you say this at the time? Nick Frost in the role, who's like his buddy.
I don't think it was about Becky. I did talk about Nick Frost recently, though.
Okay, well, I think he looks a lot like Kevin James.
Yes.
And I think it would have been a similar visual. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Simon Pegg, you missed out on a good movie role.
Such a shame.
Yeah. Why isn't this like a Reddit movie where Reddit's like,
I think it is a Reddit
no
movie.
one's seen Becky, underrated gem. I think it's because there's a female main character.
That might.
I think
yeah.
that's 100% it.
That could take away from some of the social stuff.
Any more trivia?
No.
There's literally no other
Not
trivia
really.
about this.
Okay, yeah. Let
Can
me
you
hit
can you
with-
tell me the trivia you told me before? I want to hear it again.
Yes. Now this is the most interesting. I should have mentioned this right off the top, but the walkie-talkies used in the film are Midland LXT 630s with range of up to 30 miles.
30 miles.
30 miles.
How long is that? I don't even know. I don't know what miles are
we're not
distance-wise.
American.
Yeah. That's crazy. That could be like halfway to the moon and back. I don't know.
I imagine it's something like that.
I have
That
no
sounds like a big
conception.
distance.
What are they called? LTX 330s?
LXT 630s from
LXT
Midland. So
630s.
audience, go to the Midland website.
This episode of the Sandler Files is brought to you by the LTX LXT 630s with up to 30 miles of range. That means you can talk to the moon.
Yeehaw! You can go up there and talk to Neil Armstrong, and then come back down and then talk to your buddy down the street, and then go back up to the moon.
You have to go to the moon.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Here's some other trivia from Becky.
There's more trivia?
The two dogs
Yeah.
are named Dora and Diego.
Yeah, I think I know where this is going.
After the two characters in Dora the Explorer.
What?
That's right.
Oh, I thought it was just because the alliteration.
No, that's some more fantastic user-submitted IMDb trivia.
We gotta stop sourcing from them.
We do,
We have
because
to find our own level of
we
trivia.
probably said some stuff in the past that is just wrong. Because just anybody can submit to IMDb.
We could be submitting. We should start submitting our
You're
own
right, we should
stuff.
submit fake trivia for Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah. And then Adam one day will log into IMDb and look at it and go, oh, what?
What? Who put this here? What?
That was just me queuing you up for you to do your Adam impression because I liked
know.
it.
Hey, I'm working on it.
Okay, well, Becky from me gets a probably like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, for like
8 or
movie-wise,
9.
9 out of 10 I'd put it in.
Yeah. Sandler scale low because
Yeah, like a 5 on the Sandler
Yeah.
scale. Doesn't really fall into a lot of Sandler archetypes. I mean,
which is good.
which is good. Kevin James, honestly, a little bit disappointing performance from Kevin James. He
He could have done more with the role.
He
It wasn't
could've
an
done more with the
uncut
role.
gems
Yes.
transformation.
exactly. Adam Sandler, when he gets a serious role, he really puts his everything into it. Seems like Kevin James was kind of just going for the paycheck a little bit. Very generic. Didn't become his character.
Let's cancel him.
He's done for. Yeah.
Get him, gang.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, I agree that he could have done more with it, but I also think like it was a low budget kind of movie. It works. It doesn't ruin the movie.
It works. It doesn't ruin it. He
Yeah.
could have done more with it, but
Yeah.
honestly, it's he's not the leading character. He's the villain.
Yeah.
New thing for Kevin James.
Well, Max, we've got a lot of a time here
Mm-hmm.
because Becky's one film and it's not very long.
You're right.
So I wanted to actually bring up a topic. I was thinking about this the other night
Okay.
while I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling and counting sheep.
Yeah.
I was wondering, do you think that the Happy Madison formula and the Marvel movie formula are the same?
No.
Really?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Because I've been feeling like the fatigue I feel now when I go see a Marvel movie or I watch a Marvel show and it hits the beats that I know it's going to hit has reached the exact same level of the Adam Sandler rom-com where there's always the romance.
Right.
Like, it feels the same.
I'd say maybe Sandler rom-com. Like, I can see the similarities, 100%.
Yeah.
They're the same. They're both formulas for movies that, repeat the same events. And, of course, both of them are based on the hero's journey.
Both of them are based.
Both of them are also based. Yeah, that's true.
Well,
I think they just have minor differences from each other that...
I mean, I'm not saying they're the exact same, but I think that formula and that hero's journey and not even trying to do something unique with it, but just following it to a T is kind of, like, exhausting me to the point where I'm not really excited for, like, anything content-wise.
Right.
What's, like, you know...
Halo show? You
Yeah,
for that?
dude, I'm on board for... No, I don't care about the Halo show. I don't know what's coming out this year that's like exciting.
I don't know.
Atlanta.
Because I don't really. I wish I looked into more indie cinema. I should go to like weird little film festivals and stuff in
Just
Toronto.
go to TIFF.
But TIFF is industry still.
I'm not saying go to the TIFF festival. Go to TIFF
Right.
during the year, like the theater during the year.
Okay, the TIFF Battle I play.
Yeah, and they've got like foreign films and indie stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I gotta get into that. Find some obscure directors,
some hidden gems,
some hidden gem directors that I can look forward to future releases from. Because everything studios put out and advertise is just awful.
I don't know if it's the pandemic and just that like I consumed a lot of media during that time and it just
that definitely adds to it for me at least.
Because it's just like I'm so tired of the state of like the big stories.
I mean that's why I like Becky so much, honestly.
Yeah,
because it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything, but it was just something different.
It was different,
which I really appreciated.
And it had like a different, like it was a downer ending. Even the Batman, which I enjoyed, I still felt like it was too safe in a way. It was like
I think so.
It was like the risky, like the safe version of risky. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like it was all.
I felt like it was like a safer version of the Christopher Nolan Batman's, kind of more reined in than those ones.
I don't know if I'd call it that, but for me, I think it was that it's just like a lot like Joker. It's using language and techniques of movies from like the 80s and the 90s and the 70s and putting them in a superhero context. And it's like the idea is we're supposed to believe it's groundbreaking, but it's really just same story, new coat of paint,
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's...
I mean, at least I appreciate the new coat of paint with this one.
I got so tangential from my initial point of Marvel movies and Happy Madison.
Right.
But, I guess, like, I just can't keep... I don't know, like, Dune 2, people are excited for Dune 2. I don't care. Anything
Dune
with, like,
2,
a 2 in the title, I'm out.
Yeah, unless the first one really blew me away, which nothing really does.
Yeah, they'd have to drop, like, Good Time 2 for me to, like, be like...
I mean, yeah, like a movie like Uncut Gems, of course. The Safdies, whatever they're doing next, it's gonna be...
The Safdies are doing that show with Nathan Fielder.
Oh, Nathan Fielder.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
That's gonna be
I'm
good.
excited for.
We got more Atlanta and more Barry, which I'm excited for, but that's TV.
It's just so rare when you do get a very creative piece of media that really blows you away.
I don't think it's rare
these days.
that they exist. I think it's rare that they're something that is easy to be aware of and access.
Right, something that's like advertised on streaming services or is at the box office.
Like Netflix doesn't put their like artsy stuff onto their front page unless it wins an Oscar, like post the ceremonies, right?
But I don't necessarily even want exclusively artsy stuff, right?
I
just want like something that doesn't follow this awful formula.
Well, because that's the thing. Because even the artsy stuff has a kind of formula to it.
Yeah.
In certain cases, like
I think
the
most
studio
artsy stuff can fall into this formula where they make the message or understanding of it almost too hidden from the viewer.
Really?
In a way, I think a lot of art films, they get into that kind of mindset where it's like the director gets a big ego and they're like, "Oh, I'm not making movie films. I'm making films for the thinking viewer," or some weird stuff like that.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, it leans a little bit too far over the line for me, honestly.
See, I would argue the opposite, where I think a lot of the more highbrow minded or highbrow pitched films coming out, like the ones that are at the Oscars or whatever. are just like biopics, or
Yeah,
this
true.
just like saccharine kind of. They play at the more downer emotions. Like it's like you have the
Yes.
blockbusters which get your heart pumping, and they're roller coaster rides. Like Martin,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not
Martin,
the,
he's kind
he-
of like
he was
at first I
right.
clowned on him for that, and now as time goes on, I'm like, yeah, he's kind
They're
of right.
literally roller coaster.
It's like
That's
riding
the
the
point.
Leviathan.
They're supposed to make you feel these extreme excitement emotions, which is
Yes,
cool.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
good at that. And then the artsy stuff from Hollywood is like that, but played in a minor key, where it's just
pretending to not be that, but like Bohemian Rhapsody.
oof. I mean,
How
that's
did
one,
that,
of, that's one of the
how
more
did that
egregious.
win an Oscar for editing, Jeremy?
It's one of the more egregious
And
examples.
every time I remember that blows my mind, because that
Yeah.
is the worst edited film I've seen in theaters for a while.
But it's not even like the Bohemian Rhapsodies, which like most people were like, on.
Yeah.
It's like movies like. Do you remember Spotlight?
Was that a musical?
No.
Okay. I
Spotlight
don't think so.
won Best Picture in 2018 or 2019.
Are you thinking of Moonlight?
No, this is not.
Is it
I
different
promise
light
you,
that
this
won
is a
Best
real
Picture?
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to look this up because
Okay.
no one knows about this movie.
Huh.
It stars Mark Ruffalo and a few other people that I can't think of right now, and it's about the Washington Post and their exposure of systemic abuse in the Catholic Church.
I think I do remember.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
a
seen trailers for that.
boring movie. They take
Yeah.
this like really intense topic and make it really boring, and it won Best Picture. And I watched it that year after it won, and I've never wrapped my head around that. Like all of these, it felt like every other, ripped from the headlines movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, maybe we just have a problem with studio, like projects.
I
Like
think
that
so.
might be
I
it.
think we're just starting to realize that studios develop formulas for success, which is inevitably going to take away from the art that it's creating.
I think this shows a funny roadmap of me especially, because I think you came in already kind of off the blockbuster train, but me
Right.
going from like superhero fan.
I think
So,
I was
like-
into superhero when this started, because this was a few years ago now. I
Yeah,
haven't been super anti-Marvel.
you've been
until more
super
recent.
anti-Marvel, I think, since last year at least.
I remember it was around like Black Widow. That was my breaking point.
No,
Right.
you were
What
unexcited.
was before Black Widow?
I feel like post Endgame. I remember once Endgame came out,
Endgame
you were
ended,
like,
and I
okay,
was
I'm
like,
good.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, like I don't want
I
anymore.
guess I was.
Yeah, I mean that was a good call. I kind of wish they had been just like, yeah, this is the end. I think
Right.
if that had been the end, they probably could have like actually won Oscars for it, like the way Return of the King did, where it was like, oh, this is like the culmination of this like massive project that's very impressive in scope.
Right.
But instead they were like, no, let's keep it going.
Yeah, it's just depressing.
But well, I don't know. I don't know if it necessarily depresses me, because I think it's more a thing of like, one, people like whatever the general audience likes, and I don't think it's bad to enjoy the movies if you're not like hyper obsessive like us and don't watch so many of them that
Right,
the formula
right.
is like in your face.
Yeah.
You don't
'Cause
think
again,
it's a problem?
We're like
Cynical.
we're cynical and we're trying to specialize in this medium.
Yeah, we've
So
spent
we
too
have
much time analyzing it.
opinions and cynical takes on the industry.
So if these products are working as intended and people enjoy them and get entertainment out of them, then I don't really mind from that angle. And the other thing is, I think there is really cool stuff being made. I need to put more effort into going to see it and highlighting it.
Yeah, that's same here.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find like the media, some of it gets like homogenized, where like, like everyone's doing the multiverse right now in all the
Right,
sci-fi
right.
fantasy properties, and I'm just like, why? Why are there so many of these?
Because it's the easy way to make a property where you can just do anything
Yeah.
instead of, I don't know, naturally coming up with a way where you can stretch the boundaries of what your series is or whatever. Instead,
Yeah.
you can just go, oh, this is an alternate universe, and this is another alternate universe. It's like,
For real, because then you don't have
it's
to.
just the boring way of making an interesting world.
I mean, I think maybe it's also a reaction to fan culture and fan ownership over properties, where
Oh,
when
100%.
fans react so negatively to certain choices, having the ability to go, oh, that was a separate universe, is
Yes.
it's a reset button.
Yeah.
I'm sure Game of Thrones wishes they had that, you know? Like,
Right. I mean, I think that's DC's main strategy right now is they realize.
yeah, they're
like,
going to reset
we don't
everything.
even have to say, like, if these are connected or not. Like,
Yeah.
we'll just put this out and it's like, maybe it's has a character from another one in it.
Yeah, anything that works, it's its own universe, or it's not, but
Right.
we'll
they
keep
they
making
release
them.
it and don't say, and then if it makes money at the box office, then it's part of, like, the main
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
I mean,
smartest strategy I've ever heard.
I guess it makes sense. I'm fine with. I don't know.
It's
The thing about DC, I guess, is that at least they're like doing like when I go see some of their more recent movies, like I have more to say about it than with the Marvel stuff.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that because DC, you go see the Batman and then the Suicide Squad and then Joker. Like
Yeah.
these are all they're all
very
superhero
different.
movies, but yeah, they do differentiate from each other.
Yeah.
But Marvel films, it's every single one of them has the exact same tone,
I mean,
which I think I'm just sick of. Like,
yeah, I'm just tired of the quips mostly. That's like my
quippy,
number one. Stop with the dialogue, please.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love a Marvel movie that had like 3 jokes in the entire thing. I like you don't have to remove.
I think that
all...
would bomb. I think that would bomb because when people go see a Marvel movie, like that is what they want.
Well, the audience expectations for those have shifted entirely. Where it is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a sporting event now. Like
Right.
you're watching to go cheer,
Right.
which is again, it's fine. I don't think that's a. I don't
think-
mind it.
Yeah,
I
if
have
you
fun
enjoy
there.
it, it's fine.
But it doesn't. It no longer makes an impact on me beyond the
Yes,
the
yeah.
brief period where I'm in the theater and I'm like, yeah, okay, woo, Spider-Man, and then I
Right.
go home and I'm like, okay, well that was a fun way to kill
I don't
2
go
hours.
to Walmart. I don't buy my Spider-Man T-shirts.
No, but when I was a
don't-
kid,
Right.
I was.
Well, yeah, because this sort of media is like directed at young minds, of course.
I think maybe
Right. It's
some-
directed at kids.
I don't know.
They're kids movies. They're
you
comic
seen
book
the
films.
you seen the lineups at these premieres?
Yeah, that's. I mean, they're enjoyed by a lot.
I mean,
of
I'm
adults.
still talking about them.
But the primary directive of these movies is to get kids addicted, so they go out and buy their toys at Toys R Us or whatever.
I guess that's the. Oh, it's true. You know what?
It's to
that
sell
might be the
kids
most.
stuff.
That might be the most genius part. Is that like we were raised in this ecosystem, so that like even if I'm not like even now that I'm out of the Marvel, like I'm not as into the story. Although I've told you, I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
I still have to keep up in some ways because I want to know what's going on
because
I've
they got
invested.
you. They got their fish hook in you.
Yeah, I've invested so much
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But even then, if I fully get out and then I'm like 40
Yeah.
and I hear about a new Iron Man movie, that is something that sits in my subconscious that I recognize. Like they've created a generation of media consumers who
Yeah.
are instantly cognizant of their characters and
Yes.
for their whole slate, like Guardians, Captain America, everybody. If I hear about that, it's something that piques the interest of my brain just because I know what it is.
Yeah. Right.
So
You're more inclined to go check it out because you're
Yeah.
familiar with it.
this is a conversation that I think is only interesting to the two of us.
No, I don't like. This is what people talk about in our courses and stuff too. The
It's
whole
true.
sequel culture reboot,
Yeah.
everything. It's been going on for like 20 years now
Yeah.
or longer. You know?
And this is why I want to make Bulletproof 3. We need to
Yes.
franchise
yes,
opportunity these films, Adam.
franchise the movies that matter.
Yeah. Franchise the original Risk Takers.
Yeah.
Bulletproof 3. Shakes the Clown 2.
Yes.
Airheads, Earthheads. Whatever we got to do
Yeah.
to get these true classics of filmmaking on the board. That's
I am
what we got.
disappointed that he's doing a sequel to Murder Mystery when he could have done a sequel to any other film in his catalog.
I mean, I'm kind of excited for Hustle. I think hopefully that's interesting. I have a
My
good feeling.
prediction is that's gonna be bland as. Apologies,
Dude,
apologies. I'm
dude.
sorry. I'm predicting a 6 out of 10 for me on that one.
Yeah, I mean it's a sports movie.
It's probably
so-
gonna be fine
I
because
just-
there's a lot of funding behind it, but also just I don't think it's gonna be anything worthwhile.
I guess he's just like a different type of person than I am. If he does like an Uncut Gems and isn't like so creatively invigorated by that he's like, I want to do this now.
Right. Well, because he does Uncut Gems, and then they have him sitting at a round table with like Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
and all these other Oscar
Robert
winners.
De Niro, and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how do you not want to be here all the
I
time?
know. It's like, is this not a sign that this was probably a good decision?
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's just not a lot of scripts. Like they went for Adam for like a decade for that script.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
there's just not a lot
And
of
Sandy
people...
Wexler said no. for 10 years.
Maybe there's not a lot of people who want to cast Adam in serious roles. So if you're listening,
yeah.
Adam, I will write a spec script
Yeah.
for you specifically
I
if
should
you
reach
want
out.
more
put,
dramatic
like,
roles.
We'll put all of our free time into that.
I would drop out of school if Adam Sandler said,
Yeah,
"Can
I
you-"
would genuinely abandon all life plans.
Yeah.
If Adam Sandler's like, come write a movie for me. It's
Yeah, like a
yes.
serious one.
Like,
I want
absolutely.
another deep role. I would
Yeah.
dedicate actual years of my life to that script.
That would actually change my whole life plan. Like, it was
Yeah.
like, I want you to write my movie, but you have to move out of Canada. You have to move down to LA with me. You're gonna be doing this for 10 years. Or something
We're the
like that.
least parasocial Adam Sandler fans. No, but I get what you mean. Like, it's like
Yeah, it's a great
the
opportunity.
demand should be there because
Mhm.
it's an exciting prospect when Adam
Yeah.
like tries.
Because Adam is very.
Do you think it's
talented.
artificial scarcity? It's like, when he
Maybe it
tries,
is.
it's such a big deal because he doesn't do it so often.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so, because I've heard comments on this same topic for like, you know, every 5 years or so he does do a role like that, like
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love,
The Maya
or
Horowitz stories.
Maya Horowitz stories, or
Reign
whatever.
Over
It's
Me.
every handful of years he will do that, and then every time there's that reaction. It's like, Adam Sandler can do this? What?
Adam
And then
Sandler's in the Oscar conversation this year?
This is crazy. What,
Yeah.
Adam? And then he runs back to his little gang of ne'er-do-wells, and they pop out 5 or 6 of the worst films you've ever seen.
Yeah.
and then just have every
And
once
then
in a
we
while
watch
again.
all of them.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was a good discussion.
That was a good discussion.
We're gonna watch Sonic 2, like soon. By the way,
When does that come out? Is that
I
coming
don't
out
think we'll have an
soon?
episode, like around the time. I think our last episode will already be in the can.
Oh man.
But after my talk about franchise culture and sequels and blah blah blah, I am gonna go see Sonic 2 because I have to.
I want to end this episode with a little
Should I spin first or after this?
spin after this.
Okay.
I was reading Adam Sandler's Wikipedia page because I was just like, I want to go through that whole thing and just
Bow, bow.
make sure I understand everything. Thank you for
No
the
worries.
sound bit.
I'm just adding some sound effects to you.
I just want to take this little section here from the 2007 to 2019 area. Following the release of Funny People, it, along with Punch Drunk Love, were cited in the June 2010 announcement that Sandler was one of the 135 people, including 20 actors, invited to join the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences.
Yeah.
So he's on the Academy?
Dude, everyone's in the Academy now. The Rock's in the Academy.
The Rock's in the Academy? And they get
Yeah.
to vote on what movies win?
Yeah.
I never knew that fact.
Yeah, no, like it's so what it's a 20 actors.
Including 20 actors.
Yeah, that's that year those 20 actors
I
got
see, I
invited,
see.
but it over the years the roster
wow.
builds. Every year there's new
Okay.
invitees.
So I never knew how that worked.
Yeah, it's an interesting process.
But I like the fact that Adam Sandler is voting on what movies
I think
win
he should.
Oscars. Yeah.
I like that. Hotel Transylvania, best animated picture. Okay, I'm gonna spin the wheel.
Well, all right.
The wheel.
Wheel is spinning. Wheel is spinning. This is my song. The wheel is spinning.
What do we got?
We have actually not a bad one. This is my dad's favorite Adam Sandler movie ever.
Oh wow.
It's The Wedding Singer.
Oh, okay.
Classic. I don't know if I'm
That
like
is
that
a-
excited about it, but it'll be interesting.
No, yeah, this is I guess a
Is
highly
this our
regarded
finale?
one.
Is this gonna be our finale next week?
I don't know.
No, I think we've got 2 more.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll get hyped for The Wedding Singer,
Okay.
and next week's episode will be entirely sung through. It will be
Yes.
fully musical to keep with the theme. Look forward to that.
It's gonna be 30 minutes of music.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just clapping so I can.
Just clapping because you're
I
excited
can
for The Wedding
sync up.
Singer.
Yeah.
Okay, see you next week.
Bye.